My people, very good morning, very good evening, very good afternoon, wherever you are around the world. Welcome to Bucky's View. As always, I'm going to ask you to subscribe to the channel and please drop a like on this video. Now, what a week of football. What a weekend of football. What a week in general, eh? 7-0. I think Man United is still feeling the aftermath of that result. I think it's fair to say Gary Neville is fully and deeply in the mud. Gary Neville. Do you know what's made me real? Do you know what this weekend I actually realized now clearly? I used to give him the benefit of the doubt at times. I used to think he's just being analytical, but now I'm 100% sure that Gary Neville is a true and serious Arsenal hater, because it's so true how it was all analysed this weekend. You know, he's talking about, oh, we're conceding so many goals and we're rusty here because we're conceding goals from all of these sort of lower teams, and, you know, the likes of the top six, and conceding to this one, conceding to that one. It's so true what Jamie Redknapp said. Jamie Carragher said, Jamie Carragher said, if it was City scoring in that last minute game, we would have been talking about their mentality. We would have been talking about how great City is to finish that game in a win, to finish that game with a plum, to finish that game and go and get that result and go and seek that result because they're the title-winning team that they are, and go and seek the title. But this brother, Gary Neville, is choosing to identify negatives and only identify the negatives. He's talking, he talks in this way where it's like, yeah, Arsenal are doing their thing, but, you know, the collapse is going to come eventually, or their demise is going to come eventually. You've been saying that over the last 11 games. And that's exactly what Carragher said. He's been saying, when is it going to happen? Look at the collapse that your team has faced. I think Gary Neville should just focus on Man United, because he has had an absolute nightmare of a season this season in his analysis. You know, he's been everywhere. He's starting to get too emotionally biased. He's starting to get too emotionally attached to his, you know, and he's losing his range of flexibility and being open-minded about changing his opinion on things. He wants to be staunch, and he wants to let his ego. No, if I've said this before, like Man City is going to win the league by 11 points or something. That would take an unbelievable collapse from us for Man City to win in the way that he predicts for us to win. And in his mind, I know he doesn't really believe. He's lying to himself. He don't really believe what he's saying. But anyways, that's it's crazy. It's proper, like we're trying, the media, you know, opposition fans, they're trying to scrutinize. You guys are so corny. You guys are so cheesy. You guys are celebrating, you know, like you've just won the league. We're celebrating because they are dramatic games. They are dramatic winners. And fair enough, the game against Bournemouth, I agree the fact that the staff and, you know, the backroom staff, they shouldn't have run onto the pitch. But come on, like, it's the last second of the last minute of the game. It's literally the last physical touch of a ball. It's gone. It's a goal. Reece Nelson has scored it, and it's the 98th minute winner. So it's, you know, it's something that you gotta say to yourself, how much trouble can we be for letting our emotions, do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm sorry, but, you know, they're trying to find each and every way to punish us, to derail us. You know, 10 handballs in that game, not one decision. But then again, Arsenal are lucky. Arsenal's been lucky. This one's been injured. This one's been suspended when they're playing against Arsenal. So that's why they've been able to do it. Just give us our props. And we're not saying you have to give us our flowers because, oh yeah, you know, tell us we won the league. No. But the way we're playing the most exciting football and the most scintillating football in England, if not in Europe, at this moment in time. And that's all the players want credit for at this moment in time. Not for winning the league, or not for, you know, just for the way that they've actually performed, man. And you can't knock that by all of these silly accusations that you have opposition pundits and opposition fans and opposition people and the media in general saying that, you know, Arsenal's where they are because of all of these anomalies. Anyways, Sporting versus Arsenal. So that's going to be effectively our next game. It's going to be a 5:45 kickoff in Lisbon, in Lisboa, my stomping ground, my home, my original home. Not my birth home. I was born in Angola, but I am Portuguese and Portuguese nationality, and Lisbon. I've lived there for quite a few years. I am a Benfica fan, so Sporting is my old foe. You know, Sporting is one of my original rivalries that I can remember. Watching the Benfica games with my dad, Benfica versus Sporting was always a special occasion because it was a derby. You know, the team, the clubs are so close to each other. It's literally like a 4 mile stretch, 10 minute distance between one stadium to the other. So you can imagine, you know. And I've always hated Sporting for that. And they've always been, they've always been an arch enemy since. You know, even some people that I never used to get along with coming to even in England, you know, they happen to be like Sporting fans. Like it's crazy. Like it's just somehow it just kept on. But yeah, 5:45 kickoff, guys. I see nothing but a win. I'm going to predict a win for this preview, for this sort of early-ish preview. For that game, I think we've got too much pace for Sporting. I think we've got just too much in the locker. I think we've got too much in the tank for a team like Sporting to handle us. You know, even the fact that we're playing in their home, we've beat them at their ground in a Stadio Avalad. This was in 2018, I think. I can't remember exactly who scored, but I know that we've beat them because I've had a look at it, and they drew against us at the Emirates. So all is well, you know. I can't see and I can't predict anything other than us going through in this round of 16 tie. We're going to see the likes of Bellerin, who's now applies his trade at Sporting. You know, Bellerin is just at that phase where, you know, you start to kind of spiral down from club to club, going lower down the sort of pecking order, as you kind of get to the latter stages of your career, you know. But we'll be seeing the likes of I think it's Colts or Coltes. I'm not sure exactly how do you say his name, but he plays for Sporting as well. He's played in the Premier League, and yeah, I see nothing but a win. Is Jesus going to travel? Is Trossard going to be fit to play? How is that going to work if Trossard is not, you know, because obviously we know Nketiah's got a more of an issue with that ankle injury, so it's going to be interesting to see what kind of situation we're looking at for the centre forward role. We're going to see some heavy rotation. We have to see heavy rotation in this game. I think we played a Fulham game on the 12th of March. Sorry, look, 9th of March to the 12th of March. That's a 3-day sort of span difference. And we got a good enough, a deep enough squad for us to see this rotation happen. I think we're gonna realistically be looking at positions, most positions rotated. In goal, we're gonna most certainly see the likes of Turner. You know, Matt Turner deserves to get a run out on this game, Europa League game. He's performed well when he's been called upon. So I think that Mikel Arteta will most certainly start with Matt Turner. And in the left back, we're gonna see Tini. I mean, if he doesn't start in this game, then I don't know. We might as well say he's going in the summer, because he's really starting to make quite a lot of noise now. People around him starting to make noise. I don't know if it's agent, I don't know if it's Scottish press or any of those individuals, but it's getting to a point where we can now see that Kieran Tierney, not playing. I mean, look at what he said last week. I came to London to play for Arsenal. I didn't come to Arsenal to live in London. So he wants playing time regardless. I think Mikel Arteta has just got to find a way to kind of integrate him just a little bit more, into this sort of new look Arsenal. And he's just got to find a way to not forget what Tierney did for him in the past, And I think it's fair to say all Arsenal fans want Tierney to stay. We shouldn't be, who are we going to get in? That's a quality left back like him. So why are we going to get rid of him? The club just needs to go, listen, you're going to play, because we're going to compete for all of the major honours. So there's going to be eventually enough space. Right now, we're trying to achieve what we're trying to achieve, and we need to go with our best team. And at this point in time, Zinchenko is performing. He just does a more complete job out on a pitch than Tierney. However, it doesn't mean that Tierney doesn't specialise in some situations better than Zinchenko. Of course, most certainly running out that wing and whipping across in. Tierney's amazing at that. And Tierney sometimes, he can surprise you. Sometimes he will cut in and lace a direct shot in the back of the net like we've seen before. And, he's done that quite a few times. Zinchenko's obviously, scored for Arsenal recently in the last 2 weeks. But, Tierney's got a few goals in the bag, and he is a more than capable, a more than able deputy. I don't want to see Kieran Tierney being sold, and if we are going to sell him, then we better do what the likes of Liverpool do and these teams that know how to sell players, bro. We're getting full value for Kieran Tierney. I'm talking 40 mil and no less. So yeah, I think Kivior is finally going to get his start. I mean, it's most certainly going to be now. poor boy, he's quality player, Polish international at a young age. I think he's 22. And I think Jakub is going to surprise us. He's going to surprise us with his athleticism. He's going to surprise us with his agility. He's going to surprise us with his strength and just overall intelligence and knowing how to, where to be positioned in the pit on the pitch in moments of pressure and so forth. The highlights that I've seen. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I know him well too well, because we've all done the same thing. We just watch highlights. But from the highlights that I've seen in terms of the things that I can pick up, you've got a lot to work on and, of course, a lot to improve. And, just like all of these young players. But I think we've got a little gem on our hands there in terms of from a defensive standpoint. He's most certainly going to have to get some sort of run out in this game, the Europa League game. Maybe not the entire full 90 minutes, but I'm sure that Jakub Kiwior is going to play in this game, and why not start him? Gabriel definitely needs a rest. I can see Kiwior coming into that centre left back position, and someone like Saliba holding that right back. I don't think Holding will start. Maybe he will start. He's a loyal servant to the club, been with Mikel Arteta since the beginning, of course, and he's done okay when called upon. Most recently, obviously, kind of keeping Erling Haaland as quiet as possible as he possibly could have kept him for as long as he could in the City game and in the City Cup game specifically. I just feel as though Mikel Arteta isn't going to want to destabilize their backline completely. He's going to want to have somebody who understands the system that Mikel wants to implement, and for that reason, I think you'll most probably keep Saliba in as a starter, and then maybe Holdini can come in the second half, and Saliba gets his rest. On the right hand side, I think Tomiyasu will get a run out. I think Tomiyasu, of course, needs to, he just needs to go back to form. Tomiyasu is trying to do a bit too much offensively, and I think it's confusing him a little bit. Defensively, I think his niche is defense. I think his niche is to put a foot through, last minute tackles, and he correct me if I'm wrong, but other than maybe Gabriel, he's our best heading defender. Like, in terms of in aerial duels, there is no one better than Takahiro Tomiyasu. I hope and pray that he comes back into form, because at the moment he is off form. At the moment, he definitely can't start Premier League games. We need Benny Blanco. Benny Blanco is somebody who, he's, like I said before, fully fledged fullback. He understands how to play in that system well. He understands how to play much better with Bukayo Saka than obviously Tomiyasu. But look, it depends how the game's going. If Sporting is coming out, is setting up in a very cagey, set up to frustrate us in their ground. They don't look to play football because they're scared of us. It all depends. And we look like we might need to unlock something. Then let's look at maybe getting Ben White, because I feel like with Ben White the team has more dimension, the team has more flexibility, and the team is less restricted in terms of the fluidity in that sort of front areas. But if we kind of go into an easy game and we're able to break the deadlock quickly and we're able to score a goal, then I think the game should just kind of I think that position should just be run out by Tomiyasu, just to kind of get him up to speed. That he eventually comes into great form, that we can maybe see him in the Premier League again. In the middle of the park, I do see, again, heavy rotation. I see Jorginho coming into that midfield. Partey is just so special. He's so uniquely important to everything we do in terms of the league. And it's an away tie. Jorginho has experience, so I think Jorginho will be trusted to start in that holding midfield role, and I think it's going to be a case of resting Partey for the important fixtures against the Premier League sides in the Prem. Fulham away is not going to be easy. Fulham is a good team. They've had a solid season, so don't get it twisted. Partey will need to be really, really looked after and wrapped around cotton wool. That boy, he's absolutely tremendous as a player, but he is becoming injury prone in Arsenal. So Jorginho should start. I think Xhaka's undroppable. There's only two players from the starting 11 that I feel are very undroppable. with a good shout out for Ramsdale, but the keeper is a bit, it's a bit easier, especially the fact that we dominate possession, so you can drop the keeper Ramsdale a little bit more. But these two, I think they're just undroppable. Granit Xhaka, of course, slotting in our midfield as well, and again, he came on the 83rd minute, which basically means that he was rested right to the maximum point that he could have been rested. But that Bournemouth game was so cagey, and it was so, didn't really know how it would have went prior to him coming on, prior to obviously Nelson scoring the winner. That Arteta thought, let me just bring Granit Xhaka because we need that physicality in the midfield. We need that, he's intelligence, he's nous, he's everything, and I feel it's the same thing. You kind of got to keep a little spine, even if you're gonna do rotations and heavy rotation. You got to keep a little spine going. So this is why I'm thinking if he implements that concept, then he's gonna keep the likes of Saliba in front of obviously them in the midfield. Someone like Xhaka. If Gabriel Jesus was fit, he will probably start this game as well. Get his goals tally up and all of these things, but he's not here, so. Yeah, but Xhaka definitely, for me, I see him being undroppable. I think Mikel Arteta will start him in this game. And next to them, of course, Odegaard, or just next to Xhaka, Odegaard. As the club captain, it's only right, Odegaard just makes everything tick, He's the tether. He's the connection between the midfield to the attack lines. He's the one that can get into space, get out of space, to create more space, and all of these things. So he has to start, and he's the captain. The captain just simply has to start. If he starts at Emile Smith Rowe, and somebody else is captain for the beginning, then I can understand that as well. But I feel as though Odegaard will be absolutely pushing utmost to start this game. You could imagine. On the right hand side, none other than Saka, the second undroppable name from the lineup. Saka looks like he recovers his body in 24 hours. Everything that you can throw at him, he's going to recover in 24 hours. The very next day, Saka is fresh. He's going to have some food. He's going to, do whatever he does. He's going to rest, and he is ready to go for the next day, to go back into training, and for the next match day to go into that starting 11 and start the games. It's unbelievable, bruv. That boy he's built different, made different, and may it long continue. So on the right hand side, Bukayo Saka, and I think he will be the first goal scorer on the night as well. I could just feel it. On the left hand side of the front three, I'm gonna have, of course, Martinelli, but I'm thinking Reiss Nelson. He looked incredibly sharp. He looked absolutely explosive, dynamic, and so mercurial, when he came on in that cameo against Bournemouth. And I think he might just get rewarded, and he might start. For me personally, I would start Gabriel Martinelli in this Europa League game. I feel like this game is the type of game that you will see more space. It won't be like a Prem game where it's all, this game, European nights, sometimes these players can find more space down the lines. There's slightly different dimension to the stadiums, and you can kind of express yourself a little bit more. And for that, I think Gabriel Martinelli should. He's on fire. He's been scoring goals. But yeah, I wouldn't be upset if Reiss Nelson started as well on that left hand side. And up front is where the conundrum is going to be, because obviously we know that Trossard is still to be assessed, and we know that Nketiah's injury to the ankle is a bit serious enough for him not to even be part of the squad against Bournemouth. And I think it's gonna be a late call on Trossard to start, and that's what it's gonna be. If he doesn't pass the medical to start, then we might see a complete reshuffle. We might see someone like Gabriel Martinelli up front, because it effectively means that we don't have anyone. Jesus might not travel. He might not. And even if he does travel, I don't think he's gonna play. I think we're gonna see Jesus at the end of March. All of this, he's ready, he's not ready, he's doing this, he's doing that, he's training with the team, he's not training with the team. All it is just him putting pressure out there to the media and to people, individuals, to articles and whatnots, that he feels he's ready to go. And Arteta isn't just saying, look, you're coming back at the end of March, and that's when I want you back. So that's that, and effectively, it's either Trossard starts up front, or we're going to see someone like Gabriel Martinelli take that position, and then maybe Reece Nelson comes in that position. Who knows? He can rotate, and he's got flexibility, and he's got a lot of room for movement. You know, most of the squad is fit. I think we only have obviously Mo Neni and Jesus who's coming back very soon. So, and of course, you know, hopefully Nketiah's ankles problem is not a long-term one. It's a few weeks out. So yeah, guys, 3-1, my prediction for this game. Looking forward to it. We are back in Europe. European nights are back. We're going to watch now the Champions League. We're going to watch the Chelsea game, the Champions League. I'll also be, of course, you know, tuning into Benfica. Benfica is my Portuguese club, who I love very dearly as well, and hopefully they can get the job done against Club Bruges, who they're going to play. But yeah, can Chelsea bounce back and turn it around? Can Chelsea finally give a performance at the Bridge that is so good enough, or good enough that we can see some sort of revival from Graham Potter? You know, that's why I'm intrigued, and that's why I'm interested to see, you know, are we going to see now, you know, a momentum being built here from that win against Leeds? Are we going to see something being solidified? Are we going to see a platform? Are we going to see a base to build something? Or are we all just delusional, kidding ourselves? And Graham Potter is just, there's no chance he's going to survive at Chelsea. So yeah, please drop a like on the video, guys. Please share this video as well. This has been a Sporting versus Arsenal prediction and a bit of a sort of recap on the weekend and the week's fallout from the previous fixtures in the Premier League. Hope you guys have a good week. I hope you guys enjoy the game. And yeah, come on, you Arsenal. Up the Arsenal, guys. Let's get it.